There are moments when your body wakes you up before your brain can process why. No alarms, no barking dogs, no sudden bangs, just a gut feeling that something's wrong. That was me, 1:17 a.m., standing in the dark, staring out my bedroom window with sleep still clinging to my skin like humidity. And there she was, Darlene, the HOA president, in her robe and dollar store flip-flops, hunched over my mailbox like a suburban raccoon with a power tool. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, but no, it was real. She was drilling into my mailbox. Literally drilling. Like it owed her money. Now, here's what she didn't know. And oh, it's the part that still makes me chuckle even now, that mailbox. It wasn't just steel and bolts. It was part of a federal pilot program I was accepted into after 2 package thefts the previous winter. Heavy duty, USPS approved, with a hidden motion-triggered camera tucked discreetly inside. A camera that had just kicked on and was recording her every move in high definition. The same woman who fined my neighbor last week for planting lavender 6 inches too close to the curb was now committing a federal crime in fuzzy slippers. I stood there, stunned, half expecting her to pull out a crowbar and try to open it like a safe. But what she did next pushed it from absurd to unbelievable. She reached into the mail slot, yanked out a white envelope, and tucked it right into the pocket of her robe. She stole my mail. On camera. It wasn't anger I felt first. It was clarity. She had crossed into territory that not even the HOA's bloated rulebook could protect her from. This was federal. This was criminal. And the best part? I had backup footage too. A second camera mounted above my porch light with full coverage of the front yard, including her raccoon-like approach, the drill, the theft, and her not-so-grand exit. But let me rewind a bit so you understand how we got here. I live in a cul-de-sac and Cypress Lake Estate sounds peaceful, right? It was. Until Darlene got elected HOA president 3 years ago. Her first act? Banning wind chimes. Next, regulating holiday decorations to a 2-week window. But she wasn't always petty. No, she started out as just overly enthusiastic. Then she got power-hungry, and everything turned. My mailbox became her obsession after I upgraded it. It looked a bit like a small safe, solid black, discreet keypad lock. She said it looked militarized. I laughed it off, until she posted a rant in the HOA Facebook group claiming my mailbox made the street feel like a correctional facility. The truth was, I got tired of my mail going missing. One package had my refinance mortgage papers. Gone. Another had prescription glasses. Never arrived. After some back and forth with USPS and my insurer, I opted into their security mailbox pilot program. Darlene saw it as a threat to her aesthetic empire. I saw it as peace of mind. And now, standing in my living room in my pajamas, with both camera feeds rolling, I saw something else. Leverage. The next morning, after making copies of the footage and backing everything to the cloud, I submitted a formal complaint to the USPS inspector's office. The agent I spoke with actually chuckled. Said they'd had concerns about her for a while but never had hard proof. You may have just handed us a case, he said. I didn't stop there. I sent a copy of the footage, along with a photo of the drilled mailbox and a brief timeline, to the HOA board. No commentary, just facts. A few hours later, Marvin, a most soft-spoken board member, texted me, "Dude, you just dropped a nuke." That evening, Darlene strutted past my driveway like nothing happened, tugging her schnauzer and pretending to be on a phone call. I sipped my coffee and gave her a bright wave. "Hey, Darlene," I called, "just a heads up. Some federal agents might want to talk about my mailbox." Her face did a thing like she'd swallowed a lemon whole but was trying to smile through it. Her dog peed on her shoe. 2 days later, a black government sedan rolled into the neighborhood. 2 agents. Suits. One with a badge, the other with a black case. Darlene was trimming hedges and froze mid-snip. Her pruning shears hovered in the air like she was trying to cut time. They knocked. I welcomed them in and handed over everything. Turns out, stealing mail is a big deal. Throw in federal property destruction and the fact that she'd been interfering with multiple residents' deliveries, and the case escalated fast. They asked if I'd testify. I said I'd wear a tie. And then, the silence. Darlene didn't post in the HOA group for 4 whole days. A record. No warnings about trash bin placement. No threats about Halloween inflatables. Just radio silence. Then she posted something weird. "Neighbors, be aware. Suspicious surveillance equipment has been discovered in several mailboxes. For your safety, please report any unapproved devices." She was trying to spin it. trying to make it seem like I was spying on the block, not protecting my mail. Her usual backup dancers, Tim the retired auditor, Gail with the gnome obsession, gave her a few likes. But the rest of the group? Crickets. Marvin called another emergency HOA board meeting. This time, public. Over 40 people logged in. Darlene tried to open with some pre-written speech about community trust, but Marvin cut her off and hit play. Footage of her drilling. Her whispering, "Bet you think you're smarter than me," to a mailbox. Her stealing the envelope. Her walking away like a suburban ninja. Then Marvin read aloud. Title 18, U.S. Code, Section 1705. Destruction of letterboxes and mail. When the vote came, it was unanimous. She was suspended from all HOA duties, effective immediately. Her screen went black mid-meeting. No goodbye. Just digital smoke. That should have been the end, right? But no. Darlene wasn't done. The next week, fluorescent signs appeared staked in front yards around mine. Warning. Under surveillance by unauthorized devices. She was trying to build paranoia. Paint me as the threat. So I started digging. I filed a public records request. Looked into past complaints. Started talking to neighbors. The stuff I heard. One woman said Darlene fined her for unapproved grass texture. A man said he lost asthma medication the same week Darlene claimed unclaimed packages were health hazards. The Harrisons, an elderly couple who ran a local veteran charity, told me their IRS and pension mail had been returned marked undeliverable right after Darlene complained about unreadable address plates. I compiled it all, sent it to USPS, the HOA board, and Marvin directly. I added one line. There's a difference between leadership and sabotage. The board held one final open meeting. Darlene tried to argue. Said the Harrisons' flagpole created a wind hazard. Claimed the mailbox cameras violated neighborly trust. Then Marvin dropped the bomb, a sealed court record from another state. A no-contest plea to misdemeanor mail fraud from 10 years ago. She had lied on her HOA application. The board voted to permanently ban her from any leadership role. Effective immediately. The silence that followed wasn't peaceful. It was dense. You could feel it. No more clipboard patrols. No more letters. Her car didn't move. The dog walker stopped showing up. Her house once looming was just another address now. And then the letter came. Certified mail from the federal prosecutor. Delivered by hand. Neighbors watched through blinds. No one spoke. They didn't need to. She stood in her bathrobe, envelope in hand, frozen. For a woman obsessed with control, this was the final unraveling. It hit local news. Then a viral Reddit thread. Headline: HOA President drills mailbox, accidentally stars in federal sting. We didn't throw a parade. We threw a barbecue. Marvin's idea. Big turnout. Bounce house. Grill. At sunset, I stepped up and unveiled a little trophy. A bronze mini mailbox on a wood base. Plaque read, "In loving memory of HOA tyranny. Don't touch the mail." She didn't show up, of course. But she heard. You could tell. A week later, a crooked for sale sign popped up in her yard. 2 weeks later, she was gone. The new family? Lovely. They plant sunflowers. Smile a lot. The husband asked about putting up a community bulletin board. Not a new rule. Not a camera. Just connection. So, do I miss the drama? No. I remember the moment I realized one small act installing that camera could be the domino that tipped over years of fear and nonsense. Sometimes all it takes to stop a bully is proof, patience, and the guts to press record. Now, every morning, when I check my mail, I smile. Not just because it's still there, undrilled and upright, but because the neighborhood's breathing again. And I'll ask you this: have you ever had to deal with someone who mistook power for permission? Someone who made you question whether peace was even possible in your own home? Drop your story in the comments. Because sometimes justice doesn't arrive in a courtroom. It starts with a mailbox, and a camera, and someone finally saying, enough.